Roslinites. We're going to look at what is online schooling for me as your science teacher. So I've been a few questions. I really just wanted to address this now that we're moving into week number 2.
Week number 2.
It is. So what is my expectations? This is like my favorite comic. Man, I love T-Rex comics. They're awesome because their arms are so tiny. All right, so the teacher says, looks like it'll be another effing class participation Rex. And he's like, oh, it's so unfair.
Because his arm's so small. It's like he's trying to raise his hand, but the teacher can't see that. So it's like, you get an F now.
That is so true. That is so true. But now participation for you is going to look a little bit different. You're not in class, putting your whiteboard up, putting your hand up. I know that you're participating because maybe you're responding to an email that I sent. Maybe you're responding to a hangout. Maybe you join a meet. So there's different ways that you're going to participate online, but I do want you to still participate. When you participate in the classroom community, it makes us come together as a team. It makes things so much better. Our next thing we're going to look at here is assignment or work. So basically, every Tuesday at 1 p.m., your science will be dropped. Okay? Science is dropped at 1 p.m. This is your science for the week. Now, you're probably like, where do I find this? You find this in Google Classroom. So you go to Google Classroom, and under the classwork, so the stream, I removed assignments out of the stream because it gets too busy. The stream is literally just going to be for big announcements. That means if students ask me like the same question, I'll put an answer there, or an important video to watch, or key things that I want to announce to your class. Your assignments will be here under classwork. So when you press that, you will then see different topics in there. So for example, in grade 8, I call it mechanical systems. And then I list your week's worth by the Monday's date. So for example, March 30th, online learning. April 6th, online learning. And so that way it sort of builds and you can kind of see what we're doing with the due date there. I need to fix that due date. All right. The next thing you will see is that the goal for science is about 2 to 2.5 hours of science per week. That's what the government has decided we need to do. So I try to aim for that 2-hour mark. Some weeks, like last week, was about 2.5 because we had our big review for our unit test. That's why it was a little bit longer. However, now if you're doing this faster than 2 hours, you got to do some more science. Maybe you watch a science YouTube video. Maybe you see a cool lab that you want to do. You can do it at home. Message me. Let's see if we can do that. Let's see if it's safe, right? Maybe you're going to attempt one of the labs that the kids and I do. Or maybe you're going to hang out and just help some of your peers and your classmates. But there is some stuff that you can do to help with your science. And finally, if you are taking much, much, much longer than 2 hours, then say, for example, there's calculations, like last week I had some calculations, do about half of them, right? The goal was just to practice. I give you a ton of calculation practices because it's the hardest thing for students in mechanical systems. But you are absolutely allowed to be like, I'm going to go 80% of them. However, if you're an ELL student, that means you're in Canada, just learning to speak English, maybe you're not working at grade level for your reading, that's anybody, it will take you longer than 2 hours. That means you are probably going to end up working about 3.5 hours, and that's just because of the language. And as you practice and as you work through it, you get better and better and better. The goal is to attempt all assignments. Attempt and try your very best. All right, you'll probably see on Google Classroom, I have these office hours there. It says Tuesday 1 to 3 and Thursday 9 to 11. This is when I am like literally just here for you kids. That means I respond the quickest. So when you send me a message, I'm right on there responding. I might have open on Google Meet. So for example, when we go to Google Meet, the page will look like this. I'll give you a kind of a code name to like access it. And then you'll pump that code name into this like join or start a meeting thing. And if I'm there, you can now join and ask me questions. And I'll sort of like write things out for you, like kind of like online whiteboards that I can use. Maybe I'll demo things for you, answer questions, clarify stuff. So on those times is when you can ask me stuff. That's like designated time. Now that doesn't mean I'm not available 9 to 3. It just means that sometimes I'm in meetings. Sometimes I'm getting some plan or I'm talking to parents or I'm doing things. It just means that I might not respond back right away. If you ask me a question outside of those hours, outside of the 9 to 3, I will not respond to the next working day. So that means if you send me a message at 3 o'clock in the morning, I won't respond back until the next work day between 9 to 3. So it's important that you are really aware of that, because sometimes people are getting really mad in the sense I'm not responding back at like 6 o'clock at night while I'm eating supper with my family, right? So it's important to remember that 9 to 3, I'll respond back within like a half an hour, but those office hours, I'll respond back the quickest and the fastest. So in terms of asking questions, I'm getting a lot of sort of repeating questions in terms of like students asking me, how do I do this? What does this mean? What is happening? And a lot of it comes from the fact that you're just not reading the slides. So it's important that you read the slides. If you're slightly confused, maybe go down a slide and see what it says. Maybe you want to look at, is there writing somewhere? Always read the slide top to bottom, left to right. Lots of people are missing the title. So I'll put a title saying, hey, you can use the data from my lab or your own data. That means that you can use the data that Riley and Braden got. So it's really, really important that you do that. The next thing is, sure, Riley, cheer. Okay. Okay. The next thing is I put announcements. If I did make a mistake, which happens, I'm human, just like you make mistakes, I can't really correct it on your versions. So what I'll do is I'll put it in the announcements and also in our group chats. So in our like Science 802 or 903 chat, I'll put a quick like fix, and I'll also post it on Google Classroom. That will appear in the stream. So you want to read those announcements. The final thing is the videos. You are allowed to re-watch the videos. Absolutely. Lots of you are watching the video once and going, huh? Well, you're allowed to stop the videos and re-watch them. This is the best part about online learning. So for example, if you watch the video, you take all the notes down and you're still like, I'm not quite sure, I embed those whiteboard activities in there. So maybe you re-watch that 6-minute video and actually do the whiteboard activities, like stopping it, thinking in your head, seeing how did she get that? What patterns is she making? What connections is happening here? If you have read all the slides, read all the announcements, watched the videos, and re-watched the videos, then ask me a question to clarify things, or could honestly just be a mistake. But I need you to have a little bit of independence. Independence is key. I love your messages. I adore them. However, I have 167 of you. So when I'm getting bombarded by messages and it's like things just like, I don't know what to do, and I literally screenshot the slide and say, please read this, and the student's like, oh, I get it now. It makes it a little bit tough. It's making it so I can't get my work done. And so it's really important that you just try, read the slides, read the announcements, rewatch the videos. Ask a friend. So if you're on Hangouts and someone posts a video, ask someone. The final thing is, it's okay to be wrong. If it's a calculation, it's okay to be wrong. If you do it incorrect and don't get the right answer, when you post your work and I see it, I can now message you and help you. That is the best way to actually ensure you're doing some good fashion learning. All right, my friends, readings. Yeah, I post these wonderful little slides here that say pre-learning. Do I want you to read? The answer is
Yeah.
yeah.
You have to read it.
You do. This is part of learning, especially in grade 9s going to grade 10. If you don't start getting that reading before class in grade 10, it is absolutely going to affect your learning. It goes much, much, much quicker. So your job is to get that reading done. This is part of that 2.5 hours. Now,
yes,
you're done. Woo, we're excited. We're done. Woo,
yeah.
we're done.
Woo!
You're like,
Woo,
last slide. Last slide.
Yes,
Do the dudettes. Push that turn in button at the bottom. I give you a slide like this. Okay, I remind you complete these things here, and then finally, you need to hand it in. So you got to push that button at the bottom where it says turn in. This tells me you're done. Now I can actually go through it and check it. When I send it back to you, I put comments on there for you and fun stickers. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Do send it back. Don't send it back.
Yeah,
Okay?
you just have to push that blue button, and if it's sent back, just leave it and read it over in case there's any comments or cool stickers.
Exactly. Thanks, Riley. All right, now last question about marks, how marks are going to work. Okay, most of what we do, just like in classes, AFL, not for marks. So all the slides that you're doing, the activities, and it's called complete and not completes. Your AOL, like your stuff 4 marks, will be like kind of big projects, maybe video conferencing, different kinds of like online tests that I can give that will be open book tests. I'm fully aware that you have access to all this stuff. So they will be open book tests, but they're not easy Googleable like sort of answers. At the end of the day, if you're cheating, I can tell. So for example, if you're a student who has literally been like not passing this whole year, and you're all of a sudden getting A's and B's. Well, I'm not that great of an online teacher. I'm sorry. Thank you, but I'm not. You're probably like they're getting a lot of help, or your classmates are helping. If you choose to cheat, well, guess what? It affects your learning.
Doesn't matter.
At the end
Doesn't matter to us.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you cheat, you are literally stunting your growth in learning. You need to actually try. If you do not try, you don't grow, and that's it. I'm just here to help you grow and learn and be the best scientist that you can be. So at the end of the day, I came with your average by about, I don't know, like 10-ish% somewhere in there. So about a third of our year is left, and that is it. So for example, if you've been at a C this whole year, I really can't bump you to an A. But if you're sitting like say a 60%, I can be like, yeah, I can give you a B now because you did all your work, you participated, you got everything done, you're showing like drive, and I can see growth. Then I can bump you up absolutely. Will your mark go down? Well, if you do nothing, it won't go down, but it'll probably stay where it is. And there are some people that maybe you're not getting a mark in science because you haven't done anything all year. And so it's really important that you actually get this stuff down. It's more about engaging and trying, and that's the key thing, my friends. Okay, now what? Now what? Right? Now what? Now what? Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking about a 60% completion rate. I'd prefer it to be higher. So that being said, drum roll, please, Riley. We are doing a challenge.
Done.
All right, so every time you complete a week's worth of work, you get to vote. Okay? If I hit a 70% completion, I will do the task that got the most votes for that week.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, now you're probably saying, what? What tasks are we talking about here?
What task? Task? What?
All right,
I
so
don't
the
know what
first
that
thing is, maybe you're going to learn a TikTok dance, and I'll post it. Maybe you want Riley to learn TikTok dance or some kind of TikTok activity or challenge. As long as it's appropriate, you can like put it in there, and we will get on that. Absolutely. The next thing is, maybe I want me to talk in an accent for an entire class. So I can do that. Absolutely.
She can do that, and I may be in the video too.
Okay, maybe you want me to wear a costume for all my Google video chat meetings. This is including staff meetings. So we won't tell Miss Cheer or Mr. Rossi. We'll just see if anyone notices them in a giant butterfly costume.
It would be super hilarious.
It would be hilarious.
Ridiculous.
Yes, ridiculous. Finally, maybe you want me to donate a little bit of money to a charity of your choice. No, need a charity, my friends.
Yeah.
But I don't mind donating to things that are really important to you. And if that helps you get your work done, I'll absolutely do that. Finally, maybe I'll throw some weird random pop culture references about the lesson and make a competition for who can figure out what I'm doing kind of idea. So I have some cool ideas for that. Maybe here, Riley beside me here, maybe you'll be a guest teacher for a lesson.
Yeah, I think I'll do great. Yeah, I'll do great.
Okay.
You guys may learn a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, a bunch of random stuff. Absolutely.
Yes.
And then if you have your ideas, you can like definitely drop them in there, send me a message, I'll add them to like the list. I'll keep the list short so we can get some good voting going on. But anyways, at the end of the day, it's this. I just need you to try just a little bit, just engage, hang out, let's do some video conferencing. Let's get this stuff done, Rosalind. Let's come together and build an online community. The best part about school is when we do things together and we keep growing. It helps this whole craziness work.
Don't worry. Mom will reteach the lesson if me and my brother end up teaching it. She will reteach it.
Thanks, Riley. Okay, my friends, thanks so much and have a sciencey day.